Welcome back to Just Like Yap, everybody. I'm Caroline.
I'm Andy.
And much to the chagrin of my therapist, we are covering Euphoria Season 3. We are here for the premiere. I don't feel better for watching this. Something's been changed within me, and it's not for good. No. Andy, how are you feeling?
I know that this is how, television and the industry works, but I really wish that they hadn't been able to tell us how bad the show was going to be before we were even able to watch it. Because, the reviews came out almost a full week before the show was available to the public. And, we all knew it was going to be a disaster, but that really didn't help. I also just came off rewatching Season 1 and then binging all of Season 2, so I was already in kind of a dark place. So, yeah, I don't feel awesome.
The following episode contains mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
They left this card up. I thought that I had accidentally paused the show. I was like, wait, did I press pause? Because, they left it up for a while because I think they were like, remember everyone.
Remember this show? So we're somewhere in Chihuahua, and 5 years later, we're not any better. She's back in the drug lands. We get this, artistic shot. She's been pushed with the car. We don't know why she's in the middle of the desert. There's a bag in the back of the car. We can assume drugs, guns, what have you. And we're back in the next, Wile E. Coyote situation that Rue has been brought into, trying to get out of the desert. She's trying to go up, and then suddenly what looks like the border gates go up, and we see that the car is caught underneath it. Somehow Rue has managed to, balance in between.
Yeah, so it looks like she paid somebody to put up this, little bridge over this wall, and the guy, sped away quickly on his motorcycle.
She gets herself into the worst possible situation and somehow comes out unscathed. That's why I'm if Rue's not dead by the end of this season, then I'm where are we? Because she's on her 13th life here.
I know, she really is. It's very true. I mean, I had the same issue with Handmaid's Tale. The only reason why the main character June is alive is because she's the main character, because everyone else who has done things that are far worse than she has done has died. And so, therefore, I'm not willing to suspend my disbelief that, the only reason she's alive is because she's the main character. I don't buy it.
And we get this, extended long scene of her trying to get over with this car. Somehow, in this universe, the car is fine. Rue somehow manages to, shimmy her way out of the car, and it's fine. It makes it to the other side. And a bird lands on the car, and this is the beginning of Euphoria.
Yeah, I believe that is a vulture or a buzzard or some sort of bird of prey, so ominous.
A bird of death.
An
bird of death. Animal, bird of death, yeah.
And this where I was like, oh, Sam Levinson thinks that he's Vince Gilligan. He thinks he's going to do Breaking Bad. Exactly. Or shout out to Mary Louise Parker, Weeds, the later seasons of Weeds.
Rue has crossed the border. Rue is in Texas and somehow has ended up in a barn, and this horrifying, shining child is would you like fast milk? And Rue's that's the best fucking milk I've ever had. I was like, oh no, is it raw milk? It's probably raw.
It probably is. I was about to say, that shit's not pasteurized. There's no way.
There's no way! That's raw milk! That's raw milk, baby!
Way.
And we're brought to this fundamentalist cult, the Duggars. Rue's found her, way at the table. They clearly love God. And this is now bringing in another part, Rue's maybe I love Jesus. I don't know. And it's tells him that she's writing an article about what nefarious things are happening south of the border for her college paper. And she was well, as long as the commies at college don't censor it, I'm going to send it to you.
I know. This is such a moment of, this feels like classic Rue to me, of, she's just so quick on her feet. She needed a place to stay. She needed to get out of a scrape. And she was she immediately clocked who these people were and what they would want to hear.
And Daisy has gotten her permit. She's driving Rue to the bus station, and we find out she's never been on the internet. I was like, God, I wish that was me.
I know.
I wish that was me. She's jealous of Rue, and I'm Rue's you don't want this. Trust me, girl. Don't. Yeah. And again, another on the nose. They play a song talking about you're gonna die. So it's is Rue gonna die this season? Who knows? Rue gets on this bus and sees another one of the guys up with their car. They start chanting USA, USA. I was like, are we in reality? We're going to find out in a minute. I just couldn't figure out what timeline that we're operating under. And then poor Daisy's Wow, the big world is leaving us. Bye. She waves to Rue.
My only friend who's not my blood relative.
Because I'm going to have to marry my brother. Anyways. We get lots of shots of the great West. As Rue, we see, again, a snake in the grass, as we enter the great state of California. The birds, and that means we know Laurie's back. Also, I've
never been so unhappy to see a cockatoo in my life. I love cockatoos. I've never been so unhappy to see this bird.
The most ominous shot of Laurie. We find out that's who Rue has been in cahoots with. We do this flashback where Rue is working at a smoke shop, and Laurie comes up, the worst, call in the middle, that you owe me money, in the most, deadpan voice in the world. And this is haunting, because Rue's like, well, but I don't have 10 grand right now. We find out, she's like, well, it was 10 grand 46 months ago, but at 20% interest, it's $43,887,000. Which, as we said on Industry,
God.
Money is fake. Money,
yes,
if
correct.
there's anything, money is fake. This amount, I was like, that's crazy. You just came up with that number, Laurie.
Also, I felt this way last season as well. The casting of Laurie is perfect. This actress...
Oh, she's great.
Has this incredible, just deadpan, chill energy ability, and matching that with how evil and nefarious this character is just it's 1000%. Really perfect.
But she's like, I'll settle for $100K. I was like, that is just
how generous.
What a power trip, how generous. I'll go from 44 million to an easy breezy 100,000. We meet these two nunchucks that she's working with, but she's like, I bet you don't have $100,000 either. And that's how Rue has become a drug mule in this. Yep. This is where we are at now. Okay, I watched The Pit. I have watched almost 5 seasons of ER at this point in the last year. I had to keep pausing to keep myself from vomiting through getting through the next 12 minutes of this show. This is shock value for no reason other than being shock value. We didn't need this.
No, we didn't. I was retching the whole time. I have a really bad gag reflex, and I had a lot of trouble with this.
So basically, Rue they're told she needs to eat these sealed baggies of Coke and
heroin. I think it's heroin.
Oh, it's heroin?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not going to get any of the drugs right on this show, and I feel okay about that. We find out that she brings in reinforcements because she can't do all the bags alone, so Faye is back.
I was thrilled to see Faye back. I hate that it's in this context, but I was thrilled.
Everything about this scene just went on for way too long. We got it from the first one, and then we had to watch them do it 8 more times. And we find out, basically, you don't want it to burst, because if one of them bursts, you die. We get an example of this is what it looks like on the inside of someone. And Rue's like, gotta show the, how the mamacitas do it down here. Faye can't fake anything because she's like, I'm trying to not explode all over this car.
Correct.
The dog, we are left in tense disarray because the dog is sniffing the car, but they're admitted. Welcome to America. No one's saying that these days. And the dog pees on the car. And the most horrifying couple of shots, they go through Laurie's house. She's about to blow. Get the strainer in the dishwasher to the most horrifying cutaway to...
Oh, don't use it! Why can't you have 2 strainers?
Okay, there's a squeaking rat. I'm gonna assume we have got a rat who's gonna squeak soon.
I think you might be giving this show more credit than it's due, but sure.
But we find out... we're leading later that Faye can get access to the key on the belt of the safe, but that's the last we're hearing of this for now, but I'm assuming we're going to go back. But, when Rue's not being a drug smuggler, she is driving for Uber, and I'm trying to figure out location-wise, I don't know where the fuck this is in comparison to LA, but here she is driving into downtown LA, Sunset and Vine, not far from where I live. We get some great shots, and I'm LOLing because I've been to this Target in Hollywood and Highland. Now, Hollywood and Highland is wow, what if Times Square were just daylight at all times? The worst place that you could... no one ever wants to go. Don't go to Hollywood. There's a giant Scientology center, which I did think when this guy said this city is crumbling, I was like, oh no, is this someone that's going to start telling her about Dianetics? And they're going to tell her about the great L. Ron Hubbard. But we find out she shows up at Lexi's doorstep. She's asked her about, she thinks she's been in Arizona. She doesn't know about the drugs. This is where we get the like sort of detail that Gia has moved to Arizona. Gia is going to school in Arizona, meaning Gia has been written off the show.
Yep.
And Lexi is like, well, you need to be thinking about the future because Uber drivers are going to be extinct, LOL, because of AI, etc. And Waymos, as you were there, all over LA.
Yeah, they're all over San Francisco as well. When we were there a couple years ago for a wedding, I was like, this is weird and bad. Don't like it. Don't like it. The only self-driving thing that I'm okay with is the delivery robot that crashed through a bus shelter. Just that one. Just the one delivery robot that crashed through the bus shelter, and he looked so surprised. That's it. The rest of them I'm not okay with.
It's just really weird being in LA in the middle, like beginning of a lot of this, and to see how it's going to continue to worsen. I'm actually shocked that a delivery robot didn't write Euphoria. So they're probably not getting credit. They're looking for their WGA credit. I need to take a shot of why we're dressing Lexi like she's a 1940s person working in Hollywood during the talkies.
Yeah. I mean, Lexi has always been a character that likes to sort of like lean into things in a way that like other people think is cringy, but she's fine with. So like it makes sense to me that this is her idea of like what being a successful person working in Hollywood would wear. Yeah. You think she looks like she needs a megaphone. Yeah.
It looks like she just got off the horn with Fred Astaire and is like,
yeah,
we gotta get more cigarettes on stage.
Sam Levinson says you need to show your boobs, Fred Astaire.
So come on, give it to me one more time, Marilyn. One more for the people in the back. We find out Rue is now seriously taking religion. That is her new path, her new enlightenment at 23. Who amongst us at 23 hasn't found another form of enlightenment? And I did LOL at this. Lexi going, I'm not going to be friends with a Christian. I was like, and then we find out. So obviously we know Angus Cloud tragically has died in between seasons.
Yes.
Which you would think, with the way season 2 ended, he died. Fez is in prison for 30 years. So we're in this universe where Fez is still allegedly alive. I think this is really disrespectful. This was so upsetting to me.
It is very disrespectful because also, like, obviously it's very sad also that Eric Dane died, but he gets, like, a memorial at the beginning of the episode. Angus Cloud doesn't get one until the end. Yeah, keeping Fez alive in this world, it feels rude. It feels very rude.
It just feels, it's unsettling. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't like it. And then this means now we're going to have to, like, toy with this plot line, I'm assuming, the rest of the season of Lexi. Like, I think that's, like, also... Angus Cloud was a real person to them, and I imagine for Maude Apatow having to do so many scenes with him, and I imagine they, like, developed it. To then have to, like, reopen this grief, and then have to, like, play into this as I don't know. I don't
also,
like any of it.
Take a page out of, like, all the criticism of And Just Like That. Samantha not being on the show and only being available via text did not work, and people did not like it.
Yep, exactly. Learn from it Just Like That. And we find out Lexi is working in Hollywood with her boss, Patty Lance, industry legend. LOL'd at these photos on her desk of her with Barack Obama. Is that supposed to be Joe Biden? Bill Gates, LOL, Anderson Cooper. Just a really, like, who's who. And we find out Patty Lance is none other than Sharon Stone. She's the showrunner of this, like, night soap that Lexi is the showrunner's assistant on. And the way that she's talking in the room, I think, has to be what Sam Levinson views showrunners and writers' rooms. Like, because the way that she's talking about, like, it's the way we see the world, and more importantly, what we do at the ballot box. And everyone's snapping. It's like, he's like, oh, everyone's, like, self-serious. So that's, like, what his POV. But Lexi is thrilled to be here. She feels right at home. I LOL, this is the Burbank lot. Warner Brothers, this is where they filmed Gilmore Girls. Paradise is filmed here. You can go on a nice tour here. The, like, gazebo and stuff is in the town. And this is how we know. We find out it's 2024 because she's talking about the election. And then we got her back into Cassie. Is a little puppy dog.
Sure is.
Is Uncanny Valley. Addresses a dog. Nate, of course, drives a Cybertruck. If there is anyone that a Cybertruck is made for, was
laughed so loud, because I don't know if I can think of another set piece of ephemera, what have you, that speaks louder than a Cybertruck.
Yeah,
like it tells you exactly everything you need to know.
And Nate comes home in his Carhartt and is criticizing Cassie for dressing like a dog, and this is when I was like, oh no, the call's coming from inside the house. I'm just creating content as we film a podcast.
Yeah, I'll get my dog ears out later. Listen, it's 2026. Like, get your bag. Like, if I looked like that, I'd be doing this as well.
Exactly. I wouldn't be putting a resume out there. The LinkedIn is hell. Like, I would film in my bedroom. Nate tries to tell Cassie, but I'm making deals. And she's like, but yeah, people make money doing this, Nate. Come on. I'm trying to be the breadwinner. I'm trying to help. And of course, Nate's thing is, I'm better than the rest of you. I know more than you. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. I'm a superior because I'm 6'6". I can see above you. There's everything I can see up here. But of course, I do love Jacob Elordi. I am feral for Jacob Elordi. That, again, Wuthering Heights, he yanked her up by the corset.
Mm-hmm.
Even also Frankenstein, when he was like yanking Mia Goth over his shoulders.
I have had a crush on this man since The Kissing Booth, if you recall that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Joey what's-her-face? Joey King, horrible movie, also had a horrible sequel. Watched both. This character feels like a different Nate. And, like, obviously people grow and change in the span of a few years, but, like, I don't know. It just isn't ringing. Something's not ringing true for me.
I think I'd read something. People were like, oh, there are rumors that maybe his team got involved, and they're like, we don't want him to look that bad. So, I don't know. Who's to say? And then the line that's gonna get a Peabody, except you're not a doggy, you're a grown woman. And Cassie's like, I'm not a prostitute. This brand might sponsor me. It's called monetization.
I mean, she's right. Like, where has Nate been living that he doesn't know about this? You guys lived in or near LA. Like, come on.
Unclear. I know. I'm like, are we in Orange County? Am I in San Bernardino? I have no idea where the fuck we are. Like, I really have no idea where we're at. And then he leans into the doggy stuff. Bad sex stuff is happening here. Mm-hmm. And Nate says he has money. From where, from who, from how, no idea. And that's when we bring up, why haven't we remodeled the living room? And Nate's like, I'm investing in the business. I'm investing in myself. And you've been a bad, bad dog. I was like, I don't like when he gets, like, self-righteous. This is when we know bad things are coming from Nate. It's very bad. He's taken over his dad's business. Nate is, like, talking with some guy and says the craziest line. Do you know how many baby boomers died today? A boomer dies every 15 seconds.
Look, don't tempt me with a good time.
I know. I was like, this is... Okay, Sam Levinson. I'm like, you're saying, like, things that are, like, it's like clickbait dialogue. It's just, like, this is enough to, like, again, we've talked about it before, this is going to be on Evan Ross Katz, like, Instagram.
It is already. Captions. I've seen it already. It made it there already.
We find out that they're building, like, there's a certainty of death and taxes. They're building an end-of-life facility. Sun Settlers. It's going to be premier end-of-life transitional facility, whatever that means. And Cassie's by the pool with another hot friend, and she's like, Nate doesn't get the online world. And she's like, you can have this on OnlyFans, and this poor dog, why is she brought into it?
I know, leave her out of it.
Gorgeous girl.
Leave her out of this. This pageant queen.
She's like, people just want to feel special. This is like, you give that to these men who give me $50 a month. Don't underestimate Cassie. And that's where we are left here as there is a photo that I know has been making the rounds on the internet that I am not looking forward to covering when we get to the episode of Cassie dressed as a baby.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I don't like that I'm being put here.
So, Rue and Lexi are at Lexi's apartment. Rue has brought a giant trash bag of laundry. We've all had that quintessential experience of dragging a trash bag of laundry to either your parents' home or whatever friend you know has in-unit laundry. Yeah, they're at Lexi's apartment complex, and Lexi is informing Rue, are you aware of what's going on with Jules? It turns out she's a sugar baby, which Lexi has found out from Maddie. Turns out Maddie found this out about Jules. Lexi's like, well, it doesn't mean that she's, like, sleeping with these guys. And Maddie's like, well, why would you hire a chef if the chef isn't gonna cook. Maddie, turns out, is working in management in LA, and she helps manage this guy, Dylan Reed, who is the heartthrob of this nighttime soap that Lexi is also working on.
Did you look up who the actor is?
I did not. I don't recognize this person.
Okay. Also a Nepo. This is
Shocking.
Homer Gere, son of Richard Gere.
Interesting. I don't really see the resemblance, but okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And Lexi is on set and makes a suggestion to Patty Lance. What if we flip the kiss in the line? And it goes really well, and Sharon Stone is like, ooh, what a good note. She's smart. And Rue's narration says that this is how, like, she earned the respect of the heartthrob Dylan, although, of course, earning his respect means that he calls her Lisa instead of Lexi because she's low on the totem pole in LA. Rue is explaining here that, like, Maddie's job is much more glamorous than it seems, which I think you can speak to this. That's kind of a lot of jobs in LA that are around Hollywood where, like, things seem really glamorous either on your social media or, like, the sphere of people you run in, but, like, in reality, like, it's a job like any other job.
It's really, like, yeah, you're having to deal with just, like, a lot of egos. You're having to deal with, like, a lot of crazy schedules, like, no boundaries, and that you're in this, like, weird ecosystem.
Further emphasizing the disparity of Maddie's career here, we see that Dylan is going to get $50K just for being at this movie premiere and sitting through the movie. Meanwhile, Maddie, even though managers take 10%, her boss is the one that takes 10%, and Maddie is, it looks like, almost $35,000 in credit card debt, which sends me into a state of complete panic to see this bill.
And it's like also, but it is pretty common now. I think there's just, especially with the state of the economy, I can't remember what the, like, percentage is, but it is, like, some crazy number. Like, the average amount that people are carrying now is not far off from that.
We're getting another small piece of continuity and constancy in this, is that Rue and Ali are meeting at Frank's restaurant, their little pancake house, having one of their, like, heightened philosophical discussions that we saw in one of the, like, extra Euphoria specials. And this is where Rue is talking about, like, the conflict of, like, in AA and, like, sobriety circles, a relationship to a higher power, aka God, Christian God, usually, is very, very common. And Rue is saying, like, I have some trouble with that. I've just never been a religious person. I've never been a God person. We're not really sure, like, where Rue is in her sobriety here, because she never, like, says it directly, but clearly, like, she's still alive, and we don't really see her doing drugs at this point in the episode, so, like, we think she's probably fine, but clearly she's still struggling with it. And she's like, I met this family in Texas, and they were just so happy being religious. Like, maybe I'm the one that's missing something. And Ali is like, says the obvious of, like, yeah, religious people are happier. Like, that's a fact. I mean, in my opinion, I'll say, because religion helps you avoid reality in a really convenient, socially acceptable way.
Yeah, because it's, you know, you're submitting to, like, giving a higher power the reason for everything, when it's, like, actually there's more, you know, above your actual environment and the choices that you make that have an impact on, like, what's happening in the world. It
absolves you of responsibility. It absolves people who've hurt you of responsibility. It absolves the government of responsibility. There's a reason why religion is so popular, because it is a very convenient sort of cure-all healing balm for suffering, and life is endless suffering. Yeah, so Rue is kind of struggling with this, and she's like, well, I can't be, like, Christian and believe in Christianity. I can't read the Bible. Like, I'm gay. And they get into this ridiculous conversation.
This is from a bad improv scene. You come out in a Herald and you're like, war ain't the time for butt sex. And then we have a stupid scene about, like, scientists, you know, finding the cure for...
At the end, everyone's like, we're all one giant butt.
Butt.
I am a gluteus maximus. I am a gluteus minimus. And then you end up playing a rectum, and your parents are in the audience, and afterward they're like, do you need money? And you're like, yes, I just played a rectum for no money on stage.
Please thank your bartenders in the back and thank your lights.
So Rue is basically like, but the Bible didn't like gay people, like people who had gay sex, what, they just got killed? And Ali's justification for this is like, they were fleeing the Egyptian army. Like, there wasn't time to have butt sex if you're fleeing the Egyptian army. That logic doesn't really hold up, but Rue decides that she is going to choose to believe because Ali is like, you either have faith or you don't. Like, it's not just going to come to you. Like, it is a decision. And the next thing we see, she gets the Bible on tape on CDs and starts playing it in the minivan.
It feels like such a flimsy character narrative choice. It's like, okay, Rue's going to find God this season, as if she hasn't tried to find enlightenment every other season.
I know. And that's why I'm talking about, like, the time gap here and, like, her sobriety is something I have questions about, because I'm like, I get that you're trying to acknowledge that there's been a time gap, but logically, it doesn't make sense that now, 5 years after all the events we've seen, she'd just now be thinking, like, what about God? After going to, like, a million Narcotics Anonymous meetings where I'm sure God was mentioned constantly.
Why did this all-white fundamentalist cult family, were they the ones that broke through?
So Rue is listening to Bible on tape in the car, and this moment actually really made me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
And God said, let there be light, and then there's like a thunder and lightning crash, and we realize that she's driving Uber right now.
A muscle gay.
Exactly. Muscle gay on his night out with his sweet little chihuahua. This is where the show again. Sam Levinson thinks he's Vince Gilligan. Thinks we're in Breaking Bad. Rue opens like a trap door in a horse barn. And we are in like a full drug lab. We're making all kinds of pills in here. Wayne is like, we need you to make a delivery to this real piece of shit. We don't know who it is yet. And then Wayne is like gazing lovingly at like Faye behind the pill machine and is like, I'm going to make her a chicken dinner. I don't know. We can't really tell if Faye is actually into this or not, or if maybe she's just doing it to get like that key that we previewed that's on his belt. To a safe, so we'll see, but like this slime ball is gonna make a chicken dinner. I don't know why I needed to see the chicken that was gonna end up being dinner. I feel like this was also a heavy-handed metaphor because we do see this poor chicken getting beheaded. Based on what's about to happen, it kind of seems like they were sending Rue on maybe not a death mission, but like kind of a dangerous, this guy, like he says, this guy's a piece of shit, and then everything that goes down. So I think the chicken being killed is some sort of very heavy-handed metaphor, like the rat. We see that Rue drives through like a gate that has like a big A on it, and she like drives through like farmland, wilderness, what have you, and then up to this giant mansion on a hill. And when she gets there, there's just this guy standing ominously there, and Rue's like, what the fuck? She hands him this fanny pack for Alamo, which we presumably is full of drugs, asks if she can use the bathroom, and he's like, yeah, here's how you get there, but don't touch anything you're not supposed to touch. Now, Rue starts, of course, because her curiosity, like, can't be controlled. She sees a bunch of, like, bare butts and titties and gets excited because there's a lot of naked girls in this house, and she starts wandering around, and as we passed the pool, I was like, is that former Seattle Seahawk Marshawn Lynch? And it is. Marshawn Lynch used to play for the Seahawks. He retired in 2015 and since then has been doing what many athletes do, which is trying to break into television, acting, what have you. He's been in Skittles commercials. He's in that like NFL on Prime, it's on, and then he like pulls the lever. That's him. His nickname is Beast Mode, which you'll see in the credits of this episode. It says Marshawn Beast Mode Lynch. So I was wondering, I was like, what is he doing here? I looked this up. So this is interesting, actually. He is from Oakland. Zendaya is also from Oakland, so there may be a connection there. Marshawn Lynch and Ryan Coogler of Sinners actually grew up in the same area, the Bay Area, and played each other in sports. Like, they had, like, rival sports teams and were friends. So I think he's just kind of like in the Hollywood mix because he knows people from Oakland, and also, you know, good for him if he wants to break into acting. It was just, I had a moment where I was like, why do I recognize this person?
Yeah, who is this guy? That's
Yeah.
so funny. I love that.
Yeah. So Rue, of course, accidentally opens a door, and there is a woman with her titties out. But Rue gets invited in to help her put her bikini top on because she's still sore from a boob job. Tells her she looks amazing. And then moments later, Rue is taking off her shirt and dancing with all the ladies, having a grand old time because Rue can't help herself.
I know, she looks like she's in, like, a Nelly music video
She
from, like,
does.
2003. Like, she's having, like, I know Rue has so much riz. Like, I think, like, I'm not attracted to women as much to my chagrin, but I do think Rue could at least, like, pull me, like, for, like, you know, a little bit. Yeah.
Rue, like I said, like, she just knows exactly what to say. She does have a lot of riz. Absolutely 100%. And the fact that, like, the women immediately take to her. But this character, who we later find out is named Bishop, who I believe is some sort of, like, security for Alamo. We don't really know yet.
Yeah.
And I recognize this actor. I was like, who is this? He was, among other things, the thing I recognized him from, he was in Barry as one of the guys in the acting class.
Oh, yeah.
So he has been looking for Rue because she did not go back to her minivan and is, like, very upset, and he, like, pulls her out of this pile of women, and as he's trying to take her away, what'd you gasp about this?
It's Mr. Echo from Lost.
Oh my god! Wait, really?
Yes!
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
So Bishop pulls Rue away, and as he's getting ready to kick her out, Alamo from the hot tub is like, what's going on? He's like, she works for Laurie. He brings Rue over. Alamo confronts her, is like, you come into my house, you don't even introduce yourself, and you start dancing with my women. Like, that's disrespectful. But he's clearly also intrigued by Rue. Meanwhile, this woman who Rue encountered in the bathroom is getting some of the drugs from the fanny pack. This character feels a little bit like the new Ashtray. Like, it's another, like, seemingly too young to be in this world guy. But yeah, he's giving her some drugs out of the fanny pack, and she's very excited about it. And so Alamo and Rue are getting to know each other, and he's like, this mansion is my little slice of heaven with all my girls. And Rue's like, who are you, and, like, what do you do that you have all of this? And he says he's in the business of pussy. And Rue is, like, thrilled. She's like, oh, I'm in the right house. This is so funny because, like, Rue just goes from 0 to 60 of, like, she's weirded out and uncomfortable, and then she, like, sees that people are, like, drinking, doing drugs, partying, and she's like, hell yeah, I'm ready for it.
No, we've talked about, like, this enlightenment with God, and now, like, where's God in all of this? Like, there's no, even in one episode, we can't have the continuity.
It does appear like she is smoking weed here, but as we've seen in previous seasons, weed for Rue doesn't really count as a drug.
She's California sober.
Yeah, and it turns out that Alamo owns 5 of the dirtiest, most delectable strip clubs in California, which is I assume where all of these women came from. And Rue is like, that's my dream job. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, like, working at a strip club, obviously, but, like, I don't know. It's very frustrating that the character of Rue has just never seemingly aspired to get out of a world that has only been damaging for her, I guess, is what I'll say.
And I think also it's frustrating that this is, like, where we're at now, because at least, like, season 2, there was some sort of, like, reckoning with her grief, like, losing her dad. But I give Zendaya so much credit for still making this character so engaging and watchable.
Oh, yeah. Also, I guess we're finding out that Rue has sort of really stepped into her sexuality, because in previous seasons, yes, she was dating Jules, but there were some, like, intimacy issues, and she wasn't really firmly sure of herself, so it does feel good to know that Rue has kind of, like,
totally,
you stepped into that. Alamo clocks her and is like, oh, she's gay. Cool. And she immediately is like, please hire me. Like, I want to work for you. And he's like, but you work for Laurie. And she's like, that's the worst job in the world. Yeah, I would say so. You were putting heroin up your butt. And he's like, well, that's the beauty of America. Anybody can reinvent themselves. Alamo walks away, and this exchange is so funny. Rue, like, tries to buddy up to Bishop and is like, is he always like that? And Bishop tells her to look away. Like, I will say, of all of the, like, new characters we're meeting, I'm most intrigued by Bishop. I want to know what his deal is. I want to know more about him. We cut to Cassie, who is doing what, so many people before her have done, which is doom scrolling through someone's life who you were jealous of from high school based on the limited amount of the avatar of themselves that they have created online, which is only their successes.
And I want you to pause the podcast right now and think about that person in your life. I've got at least one, and I thank them so much for all of the entertainment they have provided me. I am deeply invested in their lives. They have no idea, and I hope they never go off the grid.
But based on this picture, Maddie is hanging out with Hailey Bieber, formerly Hailey Baldwin. Okay, so...
Fire hazard.
Yes.
Fire hazard headquarters.
This spurs Cassie to lighting a million candles. She cooks Nate dinner. She gives him a martini. She's trying to butter him up and is like, are you happy? And he was like, yeah, what's going on? And it turns out she wants to talk about these insane florals that they want for the wedding, which cost $50,000. Like, that's so insane to me.
You know, if it makes her happy...
If you have that kind of money, I mean, sure. He's like, well, you don't have any money, in a very patronizing way. And she's like, well, I can make it. And he's like, how? And Sydney Sweeney's delivery of this line where she, like, laughs through it and sort of is like, isn't this so crazy? OnlyFans, oh, LOL. But it's really what she wants to do. Yeah. And, like, she should if she wants to. Nate doesn't understand it. Like, many people don't really understand OnlyFans. He thinks it's pornography. And he's like, you want to sell your body for floral arrangements? And Cassie's like, I mean, I will. Because what's not being said here is, like, she wants to be financially independent and not have to ask Nate for money every time she wants something and have to have his approval. Also, like, Cassie knows that she's hot and desirable and that men would pay money to subscribe to her OnlyFans.
I'm just, like, upset that I'm like, man, Cassie should be, like, having an Anna Nicole Smith moment and marrying, like, a man on his deathbed and, like, coming into her bag. You're wasting your potential here. You're wasting your high potential. You gotta think longer. You gotta think, man, in the last, like, 2 years of his life, enough cognizance to change his will and doesn't have any kids and can leave all his money to you. That's the wedding you want.
Yes, you want Jennifer Coolidge's character in Best in Show. Furthers the point that these are two bad people in bad suburban America who have a Cybertruck, because she says that without these floral arrangements, her wedding is going to be ghetto, which is just a horrible thing to say. Nate is trying to explain, like, I'm treading water right now because, like, the project's being stalled because I need, like, the land assessment and I need more investments, and the guy who wants to invest, like, doesn't think it's the right time. And this is where I appreciate Cassie's character, because she used to just sort of cower to whatever Nate wanted. And she sort of shifts gears and is like, okay, I can have the upper hand here if I say, like, maybe I don't want to marry you then if your broke ass can't pay for my floral arrangements. So Nate finally acquiesces, and his only rule is that Cassie not show her beautiful titties at the same time as her beautiful face, because it would look bad for him. Oh God. Tish, we hardly knew you. We met you just mere moments ago in the bathroom. We didn't even know your name was Tish until you had already overdosed. But Tish overdoses. Another one of the girls finds her and screams. And it turns out that whatever drugs that Rue brought over from Laurie were laced with fentanyl.
And now I can already tell you we're going to get a huge drug war because of this. We're setting the stage for... Yes. Yeah. Romeo and Juliet of drugs.
Correct. So, like, now my brain is going back to before Rue headed out for this drop-off, he was like, this guy's a piece of shit. And it's like, did they lace it on purpose to try and fuck this guy over? Which is exactly then what Alamo thinks when he brings Rue in for questioning. And Rue is like, I had nothing to do with it. I literally just delivered it. Like, why would I stay at your house and party
Right.
if I knew what was
Right.
in there? And she's trying to explain her situation to him. Like, I work for Laurie, but it's horrible. Like, she makes me put heroin up my ass and, like, drive it across the
Yeah.
border.
Or-
All because of, like, something that happened in high school. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Rue is like, this is gonna sound really dumb, but, like, all of a sudden, I, like, kind of believe in God, and I thought maybe, like, God brought us together because, like, this is your slice of heaven, I want my own slice of heaven, and, like, maybe we were brought into each other's lives because of, like, something godly and holy. Alamo's like, okay, you believe in God, let's see if God believes in you. And we get our William Tell, Rene Magritte, son of man moment with this green apple. He's clearly gonna shoot this off her head, and that is, like, the test of whether or not she... I don't know, this is his, like, Willy Wonka test of, like, whether she's pure of heart enough to join his team. I have no idea. We get our Hamilton dual paces. We can see his mansion in the distance. We've got Marshawn Lynch and Bishop here. Rue is obviously terrified because there's a gun about to be pointed at her head. Bishop is like, I would stand very still if I were you. And it turns out Alamo's a good shot. His gold pistol shoots the apple right off of Rue's head.
Well, we're also not going to kill Rue episode 1.
Correct. I was like, it was one of these moments where I was like, yeah, you're building the tension, but, like, there's a whole season left, so, like, we are aware that she's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
I was trying to look up whether or not there was any, like, meaning in the, like, William Tell, Rene Magritte
No.
kind of stuff.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
You could make the argument, like Rene Magritte has said about Son of Man, the painting where the green apple's in front of his face, is that it's sort of about, like, how we're perceived versus how we're not perceived, but who we really are on the inside. I don't know. But yeah, Rue, of course, because she was so nervous and it you know, she ended up living, starts freaking out, and she's laughing and she's crying and she's, you know, flipping out, and Marshawn Lynch's character is, like, straight tweaker. And that is the end of the episode. Final thoughts?
Nothing about this show makes me feel good.
No, and at the very least, it used to be just a better show overall and had better aesthetics because of the Labyrinth music. Based on trailers I've seen, it seems like this whole, like, I'm just a stand-up guy now act from Nate is bullshit, because I think he's in some sort of money trouble with, like, some kind of mob figures. It seems like Rue is definitely, like, a pawn in this war that's going to happen between Laurie's people and Alamo's people. I will say it is nice to spend more time with some of these characters just because I like some of them. Yeah, I think we're in for, it's just gonna get weirder and crazier. And thank you all for joining us for this Euphoria Season 3, Episode 1 recap. We will be recapping the entire season. So as we said at the top, if you cannot tolerate watching it, just hang out with us.
We cut out all of the gross things, so you don't have to sit through that.
Yes, exactly. We will tell you, we'll allude to it, but you're not gonna see the chicken get killed. Not here. We are also recapping episodes of the original Sex and the City series with guests who are choosing their favorite episodes. We've been having so much fun with that, so please join us for those. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Instagram. You can tell your friends to subscribe so that we have more friends to hang out with. Comment. How did you feel? We love you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.